Hey there, comic fans. You're watching Comic Yahud, and today, we're kicking off last chapter of Tintin and the Dark Island. Let's roll. The boulder's force sent the pursuers crashing backward, tumbling over one another in a heap. With a thundering clatter, they rolled all the way down to the bottom of the staircase, weapons and hats flying in every direction. Meanwhile, Thomson and Thompson are on a boat, peering ahead with a sense of urgency as they spot the Black Island coming into view. They prepare to make landfall, hoping to catch up with Tintin and offer their assistance. Back at the ruins, one of the adversaries, undeterred by the chaos, declares his intention to fetch Ranko, believing the creature won't be deterred by mere stones. Tintin surveys the ruins with a sense of accomplishment, noting that the disturbance has momentarily subdued their adversaries. He stands amidst the crumbling stones, aware that the situation remains precarious. Suddenly, Tintin hears the distant hum of an engine, sharpening his senses as Snowy barks beside him. He strains to listen, eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of approach. Relief washes over Tintin as he spots a police boat cutting through the waves toward them. With renewed hope, he waves eagerly, knowing help is on its way. Suddenly, Ranko emerges from the stair with a thunderous roar, causing Tintin and Snowy to recoil in shock. Snowy barks bravely, trying to distract Ranko as the massive creature hesitates, its initial aggression faltering. Terrified by Snowy's fierce barking, Ranko lost his footing and tumbled down the staircase. Meanwhile, a group of men, led by a bearded figure, approach the archway, remarking that Ranko won't be long. With a thunderous crash, the gorilla bowled straight into the men waiting below, sending them sprawling in a chaotic heap. The police boat pulled up to the island's rocky edge, officers moving quickly to secure the dock line. One of the twin detectives, eager to set foot first, prepared to leap ashore as the vessel steadied against the rocks. One detective boldly sprang for the rocks with a cry of "Go," while the other, flustered and off balance, waved his cane and spluttered, "Wait for me." One of the detectives misjudged his leap and toppled backward with a splash, his hat spinning away as he clutched frantically at the rocks. The others paused in alarm, suddenly aware of how perilous the landing truly was. The drenched detective clung pitifully to the rock, while his twin leaned over from the boat with smug satisfaction. "There, you see? I told you so," he declared, leaving his sodden counterpart fuming in silence. The police boat crashes hard against the rocks, jolting everyone aboard. Another detective on boat is flung into the air, his cane flying from his grasp, while the crew braces against the sudden impact. Police watch in shock as the detective tumbles overboard, legs flailing in the air, while the others frantically reach out to help. The water splashes wildly, reflecting the chaos on the boat. The detectives scramble onto the rocky shore, pulling their drenched colleague to safety while he clutches his hat and cane. Determination marks their faces as they continue their pursuit along the jagged cliffs. The police burst into the stonewalled chamber, weapons raised as an officer shouts for the criminals to drop their guns. Panic flashes across the men's faces, one clutches his pistol nervously while another blurts out in despair, "The police. We've had it." Thomson and Thompson, drenched in water, climb over jagged rocks by the seashore, their expressions tense yet determined. Having reached their destination, they call out to Tintin, assuring him it's safe to emerge as an officer escorts a handcuffed man away. The relief in their voices is unmistakable, signaling the successful capture of the criminals. Tintin, with a confident smile, beckons Snowy, announcing their troubles are behind them as he leads the way down the stone steps. His enthusiasm is infectious, marking the end of their perilous adventure. Suddenly, a loud commotion rings out as Tintin trips, sending him tumbling forward with a startled shout. His fall is spectacular, colliding into Thomson and Thompson, who are equally caught off guard. Stars seem to swirl around them as they all crash together in a chaotic heap on the stone steps. Amidst the confusion, Tintin apologizes, explaining his misstep over a stone, while the detectives sit dazed. They exchange skeptical looks, questioning the mishap with mild disbelief. Tintin inquires about any resistance, and the detectives, with a mix of humor and confusion, assure him there was none, quoting, albeit incorrectly, a famous phrase. Their light-hearted recounting brings a moment of laughter amidst their otherwise serious task. With a plan to ensure everything is in order, Tintin invites the detectives for a final check around the area. They agree to accompany him, eager to ensure nothing is overlooked before their departure. As they descend the stone steps, Snowy, always at Tintin's side, bounds energetically ahead. The detectives follow closely, their canes tapping rhythmically, as they prepare to thoroughly inspect the surroundings one last time. As they step out into the courtyard, Tintin and the detectives spot a green airplane parked against the stone wall, its presence as unexpected as it is intriguing. Snowy barks excitedly, while Tintin exclaims his surprise, drawing everyone's attention to the curious sight. Thomson and Thompson, puzzled by the airplane's presence, question how it could have landed without an airfield nearby. Tintin, ever the quick thinker, points out a steel-shuttered door across the courtyard, suggesting they investigate further. Moving swiftly, Tintin reaches the heavy door and begins to work on the mechanism, determined to uncover what lies beyond. The detectives and Snowy stand close by, ready to assist as the metal shutter slowly begins to rise. Tintin gestures towards the vast beach, explaining that it served as an airstrip during low tide, the detectives peering out with growing curiosity. Snowy stands by, his ears perked up, as they all take in the significance of the location. Inside the dimly lit space, Tintin rummages through sacks filled with forged notes while the detectives shiver in the cold. They decide to head back up, their breath visible in the chilly air as they contemplate their next move. Ascending the stone stairs, one detective admits unease about the place and hesitantly asks if the other believes in ghosts. The other laughs nervously, dismissing the idea, though the echoing hall seemed to encourage a different thought. Suddenly, an eerie sound echoes through the stone walls, causing the detectives to jump in fright, their hats nearly flying off. Clutching their canes, they exchange wide-eyed glances, unsure if they're brave enough to continue. As they stumble backward, one detective stutters out that it's a ghost, while the other tries to clarify, his voice quivering. Tintin, catching sight of their panic, stands puzzled at the bottom of the stairs, questioning what could have caused such terror. Tintin, dressed in a kilt, begins to ascend the steps, his curiosity piqued despite the detective's frantic declarations. With Snowy by his side, he wonders aloud about the supposed haunting, determined to uncover the truth behind their fright. Tintin pauses on the steps, startled by an eerie woohoo echoing through the stone walls. He glances back at Snowy, both puzzled and intrigued by the mysterious sound. Meanwhile, Thomson and Thompson cautiously peek around a stone archway, their eyes wide with concern. They seem hesitant, yet their curiosity pushes them to observe from a safe distance. Their voices tremble slightly as they call out for Tintin, hoping to catch his attention. The sense of urgency in their voices suggests they fear for his safety, urging him to reconsider his bold exploration. The detective peeks cautiously around the corner, his posture stiff with unease. From above, Tintin's voice calls out reassuringly, telling them it's safe to come up, no danger, and certainly no ghost. Tintin stands beside a large ape, explaining to the astonished detectives that the creature had simply injured itself, leading to their unexpected friendship. Snowy looks up with curiosity while the ape, arm in a sling, seems surprisingly content. One of the detectives stammers, questioning Tintin about his plans for the ape. Tintin confidently decides to take the creature to find a more suitable home, ensuring its well-being and preventing starvation. Tintin, determined and focused, leads the group down a rocky cliff towards the waiting launch. The detectives follow closely, their expressions a mix of resolve and anticipation as they prepare for the journey ahead. Meanwhile, in a cozy pub, a local man animatedly recounts the strange happenings on the Black Island to a captivated audience. His tale of mysterious beasts and bizarre occurrences leaves the listeners intrigued and slightly skeptical. Excitement fills the pub as news of Tintin's approach spreads, and the patrons cheer with newfound hope. The lively chatter and admiration for Tintin's bravery ripple through the room, uplifting everyone's spirits. Tintin climbs out of the boat, greeted by a throng of reporters eager for his story, with questions flying at him from every direction. Overwhelmed by their enthusiasm, Tintin stammers, unsure of where to begin, as the crowd hangs on his every word. Suddenly, the dock is deserted, papers and cameras scattered everywhere, as Tintin stands bewildered, wondering aloud if he said something wrong. A bemused figure peers over the edge, sharing in Tintin's confusion at the abrupt departure. The newspaper headlines the next day reveal the capture of forgers on the mysterious isle, celebrating Tintin as the hero of the Black Island drama. The young reporter, alongside Snowy, stands proudly in a photograph with the officers who helped crack the case, their expressions filled with triumph and relief. As the sun rises, Tintin stands at the airport with Thomson and Thompson, who express their reluctance to fly due to doubts about the pilot's reliability. Tintin, with a hint of amusement, nods in understanding while Snowy looks on curiously. Moments later, Tintin waves goodbye to his friends as he ascends the aircraft steps, his coat flapping in the breeze. The pilot stands by the entrance, returning the wave with a respectful nod as Tintin boards the plane. With a powerful roar, the plane takes off into the sky, leaving behind a trail of swirling air. Tintin embarks on yet another journey, his destination filled with promise and new adventures. Thomson and Thompson struggle to keep their hats on as a sudden gust of wind whips them away, causing a flurry of activity as they chase after the runaway accessories. Their determination to maintain composure amidst the chaos adds a touch of humor to their otherwise serious demeanor. Meanwhile, a sleek airplane soars gracefully through the sky, its engines humming with power as it cuts through the clouds. The aircraft, emblazoned with a distinct emblem, suggests a journey to distant lands, promising new adventures on the horizon. That's the end of the story. If you're enjoying the story, continue to the next one and don't forget to like and subscribe for more comic adventures on Comic Yahud.